What is up, guys? It's Thursday again. This is week 6, I believe. And Nate has a little story for you.
So I was on my way to the studio to do this here show, and then I realized I forgot my keys. And then I had to stop for fuel, and then I was on my way back, and then I realized because the city of Alton decided it wanted to have fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th, that traffic is going to be absolute hell tonight, so I can't get anywhere near my studio. And I can't find anywhere to park either because I drive a 19-foot long hearse, and it's just not going to fit, period.
Not in a
So,
lot of places.
for those of you who don't believe me, there is my car. That's my nameplate in the side. It says Shrek because that's my nickname at my former job. There's a casket, there's the partition, and there's the dashboard. So, there you go.
There you have it,
I'm
folks.
doing this show from my car.
So, for anyone that has trouble streaming this, because I'm guessing they will, because my upload speeds are never good. Nate's at the studio are typically good. That's why he always looks HD. Uh, So in the fall, my stream will be better, so my end will at least look better than whenever he can get to the studio. Our stream will be steady, and he's on his phone right now. So if the words and the faces don't match up, which even on my end right here, I can see that they're not. So uh, maybe just turn off the video and listen, more like a podcast type of thing. That might be a
Yeah,
more
we've been
pleasant
radio show
experience.
for a while.
I'm feeling like that maybe we might want to syndicate this on iTunes afterwards too. I feel like that's be something cool to do. That way it can
Yeah,
be done on podcast too.
that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know how many people in the world still actually podcast, but if they do, it'll be there. I feel
Right,
like
yeah,
a lot of times audio only is all people have time for. They don't have, I don't know, unless they can watch it live. A lot of people don't have time. I feel like anyway.
exactly.
So I guess we'll get right into it. First thing came out yesterday. I don't know exactly who the group is, but I think it's just a panel of some sort that had originally complained about the NSA tapping phone lines. Decided that they came to a decision, I guess, that PRISM, the NSA surveillance program, is perfectly legal. So that being all the types of surveillance that they do via, private and public internet security, backdoors, and things like that. They determined that that was legal, and I
I
don't
have
know.
a major problem with that.
Yeah,
That is just wrong in so many ways. It's one of those things where basically our government is telling us that it's perfectly legal for someone to spy on us, even though we've done nothing wrong.
right.
Why?
I don't know. And the thing with it for me is I'm okay with blind, like, I don't know, if they want to screen emails for terrorist plots with hot keywords and stuff like that. But to the point of actually delving into the metadata of specific individuals, like who I call, when I call them, things like that. That's the gray area for me. I don't care if they want to make sure I'm not emailing Yemen or Somalia plotting things, but if they
Right.
are just wide casting a net, a drag net, and dragging it through everything, that's where I have the problem.
Oh, for sure. It's one of those things where you've really got to ask yourself, how much longer are we going to let this kind of thing slide?
Uh-huh.
How much are we going to let this bullshit that our government is doing just go under the radar like we don't even care?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. It's always dangerous to talk about it. I don't know. My video just died. I'm not sure why.
That's not cool.
Well, I try. Oh, there it's back. I'm going to. Your video is basically just a picture, so I'm going to speed up the stream and just turn you to audio. Is that cool with you?
That's fine with me, dude.
There it says I can't mute your video. Can you mute your video?
I mute my video.
From your side?
Maybe. Hang on a sec. Speaker, handset, earpiece, wired. How'd that work?
That got it. I just feel like it'll work a lot better this way, and people won't be confused trying to watch your words not match.
Right, yeah.
All right, so like we said earlier, hopefully next week we'll have a more stable situation, and going into the future we'll get things ironed out. I'm sure.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. Last week went kind of smooth, you know. I just kind of rambled for an hour basically. Actually, it was like a little over half an hour. It worked fine, but it was boring.
Right.
All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was smartwatches, and I touched on this a little bit last week. I don't know how much you've been able to see, Nate, of the Moto 360, the LG G Watch, and the Samsung Gear Live. Have you seen any of those?
I've seen the 360 and I've seen the Gear Live, but the LG G Watch I have not seen yet. I have to say the 360 really impressed me with the way that thing looks. If it works as good as it looks, that thing is going to be fantastic.
I feel the exact same way, and the thing with the G Watch and the Gear Live, those are already available for sale and sale/pre-order. It doesn't ship for another couple of days from the Google Play Store, but you can order both of those for I think 230 for the LG and 200 for the Samsung. The only thing I saw with those is that it's like terrible in the sunlight, and I feel like it's an important part to have this. It's an important place to have the screen functional. I feel like for a smartwatch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, because 9 times out of 10, that's where most people are going to be using their watch the most, is
Right,
out in the sunlight.
Exactly, because if they're on their phone, they're probably at their desk, not in the sunlight. So I feel like it's mutually exclusive. They're going to want the sunlight to not affect it. And hopefully that's not a problem with the 360. The only thing with the 360 that came out today, and the reason I wanted to talk about it was because, yes, it's supposed to have a more premium build, look better. It's round, which is what watches are supposed to freaking look like. I mean, come on. Square watches, no. Like the Pebble has always been ugly, and it always will be ugly. So I feel like, what's that? I think you cut out.
I said I do like it, I just wish it was round.
Yes, round, exactly. The Pebble has good functionality, and they were the pioneers for the industry, really. But
Pretty much.
the news that came out today that just killed me, was that they were talking about leaked online listings on some sort of vendor's website, putting the price at like $450, I think.
For what?
The 360.
Holy crap!
I'm gonna
I
Google
hope
this
it's
just to
wrong,
confirm.
because if that's the case, ain't nobody going to buy it.
Not at all. Let me see here.
There goes the paddy wagon.
Where'd it go here? Yes, let's see. $400 around $400. So maybe not 450, but definitely at least $400. To cost
That'll be really disappointing if that is the case.
I
Because if I have about $400 on a watch that's going to connect up with my phone, I'm going to be pretty summarily pissed off.
And the thing with it is, it's like I don't know, the Gear, it's supposed to be, you know, at least it's twice as much as the Gear Live, but you better add a whole lot of functionality. If I'm going to pay $400 for a 2-inch screen to sit on my wrist.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that one of the biggest draws for the Pebble is the fact that it actually, it's a decently functional piece, but it's decently priced as well, you know?
Exactly. They've got both worlds held up on that one.
Exactly. It may be up, but it does work.
But like you said, we're both hoping it's not true, and I don't think we have to hope very hard because it was from like a pre-order site, some Chinese website's getting ready for whenever that does come out, and it seemed kind of sketchy to me anyway. It didn't seem like it didn't seem very official. It wasn't like on Motorola.com or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So I think until we see it on an OEM source, I think we're safe, at least for now.
Yeah, that would be a good thing, because if that actually is a $400 piece, they're in trouble. Nobody's going to buy that.
Big trouble. Big trouble. Just to add on to the smartwatch business, the last couple of days I've been talking about Microsoft working on a smartwatch. It first started out as just, you know, a smartwatch in general, and now they're talking about Microsoft leaning more towards the towards the fitness tracker side. It's going to be, instead of a smartwatch having fitness functionality, it's going to be the other way around and supposedly be a fitness tracker with smartwatch functionality. So that, I mean, that could work. I don't know.
But at the same time, though, I don't know why other smartwatches can't do the exact same thing that a fitness tracker would do.
I don't know why they can be combined. At the Gear Live, no, not the Gear Live, the Samsung Gear Fit, it was cool. It was a good idea, but I feel like in the path to making a smartwatch and a fitness tracker, which shouldn't be that hard, it should not be that hard. They made a crappy piece of hardware.
I agree wholeheartedly. They really did.
It
I mean,
looks
you
nice,
look at it,
but
it felt like it was made not quite like one of those things that you put a quarter in a machine, turn the dial, and a little piece of plastic, but it was close.
damn close. That's for sure. So
Really
hopefully the Gear Fit 2 meets expectations a little teensy bit better. But other than Microsoft, Apple, people have been talking about Apple making a smartwatch before anyone even made a damn smartwatch.
Yep.
And
They've been talking
supposedly,
about that for 5 years now.
seriously, like before it was even a market sector, they were talking about Apple making a smartwatch. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know. Supposedly this is the year, but they said that last year about Apple making a TV, and
Right.
that didn't happen.
Nope. I'll be honest with you. I really don't see Apple making a TV. I really
No, I
don't.
don't either. I thought that was an empty rumor from the get go. I never thought that made any sense.
It would really be quite stupid for them to do such a thing. Lady, if you hit my car, we're going to have problems. Just saying. But I for Apple to make a TV at this point in their career would honestly be very unoriginal for them. It would also be very pointless.
They have no choice but to make new sectors now. They have no choice. They made a new sector they made a new market sector with the iPad essentially. Yeah, you can say whatever you want about Microsoft making those little slates that you can write on with a pen. No, that was a modified laptop, and I don't think it counts.
Exactly right. Those literally were nothing more than full-fledged laptops running really crappy hardware that happened to have a really trick hinge.
Yep. It's fun.
And that's all that was.
It's fun all the way around. That's all it would do.
Exactly.
So
and there was no.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that since the smartwatch industry is still young, Apple won't feel like they won't. Hopefully they won't chicken out, is what I'm trying to get at, and they'll still jump into it because it's still young. It's nobody's. Apple has the tablet industry essentially. Android has a good hold on the smartphone industry. Not so much in America, but I feel like the smartwatch industry is very wide open, and Apple's going to take a chance to get a piece of that action, piece of the pie.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So that's, like you said, the TV thing was really, really, really dumb. The amount of media attention.
I think it's still stupid that Apple is actually pushing Apple TV, like the little box they have, in this day and age, because there's so many other companies that do it better with less restrictions and less strings.
And less price, like the Chromecast or the Roku, for that matter. The Roku, I feel like, does more than the Apple TV.
The Roku streaming stick does more than Apple TV.
That's true, and I don't even know how much that is, but that's way cheaper than an Apple TV, I know.
$48 at Walmart.
How much?
$48.
Yeah, that's obviously cheaper than the Apple TV. Everybody knows it's $100, but if they make the Apple TV do more.
Streaming stick. The functionality on that thing is ridiculous. A friend of mine has one that he's got hooked up to an old Sony Bravia television. There's a little bitty thing, and it's ridiculous what you can do with that thing. It really is.
The Hulu, the Netflix, all that stuff.
Everything you want to watch streaming on the internet is on the Roku streaming stick. And as far as I'm concerned, I would much rather spend $48 than $100 on a limited piece of equipment.
Yeah, that's simple economics. That's a good principle you have there.
Thank you.
I feel like a lot of people that have Apple TVs have them because they want to stream stuff and they feel locked into the Apple ecosystem. What with AirPlay, what it is, AirPlay mirroring, they feel like they have no choice.
But the fact of the matter is they do have a choice, and I wish
Absolutely.
they would exercise that choice.
Oh yeah, more
There are
people should.
better.
Yeah, more people should exercise that, and I don't know. So we'll see where that one goes with in terms of the TV industry. And
Exactly.
didn't you used to have a Nokia Lumia 920?
Yes, sir, I did. Had a 900 as well.
Now, do those run Windows Phone 8.1? Do you know?
Yes, I do.
They do. Okay. Supposedly, that like a new update with Windows Phone 8.1 is going to add folders. Oh my god.
Holy shit, really?
Supposedly, yeah.
Like, honestly, that's the biggest news out of Windows Phone lately.
And that's a sad day, but that's the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie on the fact that I do genuinely enjoy the Windows Phone platform.
Yeah.
What the hell, Microsoft? That's the best you can do? The biggest update you had lately was a new piece of hardware. And you know what that was? A friggin' huge tablet. That's
Yeah.
it.
I don't know how they're still making profit margins, and maybe they're not making as big profits as they used to. Maybe that's why Bill Gates got out because he saw the horizon.
Yeah, I saw the writing on the wall.
Yep. I
Yeah,
hope that's not the case. I like Microsoft as a company, but
absolutely.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
they're not
genuinely dig the Windows Phone platform. I
right.
really do. But I
They,
want people to actually work on it and
they
actually do
just
things with it and bring out new
exactly
support that don't suck.
exactly. They don't do enough with it. It's like when it was like the way they've always treated Windows Phone in terms of adding features and developing it and getting people to develop apps for it. It is now the way that iOS was like 3 or 4 years ago. In the
Yep,
space between like iOS 3 and 6, when Apple was just like, well, people are buying them. We don't really care about what goes into it. People buy it. That makes us money. Why should we sink more capital into it and cost ourselves more money if people are going to buy it anyway?
exactly right. Exactly right.
So I
It's
think,
just they need to move,
yeah,
and if they don't catch up and start actually working on Windows Phone like they were, instead of piddling around with stupid little things like folders, they're going to be left in the dust, just like Nokia was about to be left in the dust before
exactly.
they took over, put Windows Phone on pretty much every single phone they sell in this country.
And it's like, yeah, people, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about you, Microsoft. You're beyond help, and save yourself from drowning at this point, in my opinion. That's all I have to say.
Pretty much.
That's all you can say.
Before things of WebOS, seriously, fix yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm getting depressed for that right now. Microsoft is depressing me. Uh,
Yeah, they've got a lot of potential. So
Google
far,
made me so
on
happy
a
this week.
design standpoint, just like, what's up?
Yeah, go ahead, you were cutting out.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I
No,
thought you
what?
cut out.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Okay. Well, at any rate, um, Microsoft has come so far on a design standpoint. Hi there. Um, but at any rate, they've come so far, but then they've stopped, and it's just like, what the hell? Why have you stopped? Upwards and onwards is what I was always taught. So
Right.
why are you not continuing to design, software that is actually innovative?
It's like they're walking down this long hallway. I'm weird about metaphors. I use metaphors all the time. So they're walking down this hallway, right? And the hallway is developing Windows Phone at the beginning when they first started. And then they get to this staircase at the end of the hallway, and that's where they are now. They have two
Yeah.
choices. They can go up the staircase, keep developing. There's money up there because if they keep developing, they make more money off selling more phones, right?
Yep.
But they instead got one of those little electric scooters from Walmart and stayed on the bottom floor.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They got lazy.
That's what they're doing with a bag of Funyuns.
Nice.
Yeah,
Real nice.
just icing cake.
Yeah, right.
Uh, in less depressing news, Google made me real happy this week. I had the Moto G for a while, and I've been thinking about getting back on Team Android. But Google has came out, well, not Google themselves, but an employee at Google. I think it was like a senior engineer on the Android team, and he came out and denounced all rumors that Android Silver is gonna kill the Nexus line. Uh, if you hadn't heard, Android Silver was supposedly going to be the separate carrier branded uh, phone program where these phones would get separate fast updates like the Nexus program does, but that was also going to be the demise of the Nexus line. And
Right.
according to this report, that's not happening.
I think it would be really silly for Google to kill the Nexus line to begin with.
Right.
From a business standpoint, Silver just makes not Silver. Nexus just makes sense. They're making so much money on it, and the phones are just great.
Right. And that's what made me so happy is because the phones are so good, and I don't want a carrier branded phone. I don't want a contract. I want to be able to use that upgrade for like, some other phone like HTC or Samsung comes out in the middle of the year next year, because that's when my upgrade's going to be up. I want to be able to buy a Nexus off contract for $350 or whatever.
Exactly. Actually, I was speaking of cheap, really good phones. Nice. Was it Gizmodo? I think might have been. A couple of days ago, they posted a review about this phone called the OnePlus One.
Oh my God, yes.
They said that thing was absolutely astonishing, and it only cost like $300 off contract. They said the camera was, but otherwise it was a great phone.
And I don't know if that was the first you heard of the OnePlus One. I can't believe that's never come up on the show, but
yeah, that was the first time I heard OnePlus One.
I've actually been. Have you seen the invite system?
No, I've not. I heard about it, and if I'm honest, I think it's kind of silly because if they were to just like, hey, here's our phone, we think it's better than 3/4 of the cheap phones you can get out there for Android, and it'll just be absolutely insane,
Right. Well, and here's the problem with it. It's like they feel like they have to use the invite system because there's such an insane demand for this thing. The invites, I don't even want to know what the ratio is, but there's so many more people wanting invites than there are invites to go around. Every once in a while, they'll do sweepstakes to get an invite to have the right to buy the phone in the first place.
Right.
And it's just because it's a limited stock. It seems like they developed the phone, they've got units made, final production units, and then they went out and said, look what we have. When what they should have done is say, okay, this is good, make more of these, and then show it off,
Exactly right.
Because now you have all these people wanting it, and people like me who wanted it if they had waited to advertise it, I probably would buy one. But now since my I want that factor has gone away because I'm not able to buy it, I'm probably never going to buy one.
Exactly right. Unless I happen to see one in Goodwill, I'm probably not going to buy one.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because it looked like a fantastic phone.
Oh, and it really is. I mean, in terms of the hardware and the software, the CyanogenMod adds so many more features. So it's supposedly a really good experience. Well, with Android L coming out, there's a lot of battery improvements. So some of the caveats of CyanogenMod might be built into Android now. So we might not be missing out on quite as much, but it would have been nice to be invited. That's all I got to say.
Exactly right. It would have been nice to have someone just say, hey, you know what? Here, buy this phone. You don't even need a friggin' invite.
Yep. It's like OnePlus had a house party, and then I got there, and the door was locked. So I walked away, and then Google rolls up in a party bus and says, let's go. New Nexus phone coming this fall. Jump on.
Exactly.
That's what just happened.
That's basically what has happened. Basically, Google's just kind of like, come on, losers, get on board. And
Yep.
everyone, you know,
I'm sure as hell gonna get on board.
shit, yeah.
No reason not
If,
to.
if the next version of Android comes out and it's actually available for my Galaxy Note 3, you had better believe I'm upgrading immediately.
Oh, it better be. That phone's not old enough to not get it.
Exactly
You'll
right.
bar- you'll barely be a year old, I think, in September that when that phone came out. I think something in that range.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Uh, well, enough about phones, I guess. Did you watch the World Cup? Are you watching the World Cup at all?
Yes, I did. Go Tim Howard, go Team USA. Unfortunately, we are out of the games. Damn it.
Sad face.
Right.
But in World Cup news slash technology news, first, since you mentioned Tim Howard, I'll just point out that if nobody saw it, you need to Google Tim Howard, Secretary of Defense. You probably saw this.
Yeah.
On Wikipedia, someone managed to change the whole Wikipedia page for Secretary of Defense to all the information about Tim Howard.
Somebody screenshotted it before Wikipedia changed it back.
And that had
But
to have been such a quick edit back.
oh yeah, absolutely. Because I'm sure someone went Secretary of Defense. Oh right, that's Tim Howard. There's a lot of shit he could save.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just
I thought that was hilarious. That's got to be like one of the top internet trolls of all time.
absolutely, that's fantastic. And the greatest thing on that whole situation right there is all the people that are posting up all these hashtag things Tim Howard could save.
Yeah.
And the pictures that they're photoshopping Tim into are just hysterical, man.
It's a great thing. You guys need to go check it out if you haven't seen it. Things Tim Howard could save on Twitter, the hashtag. There's a lot of things. Like there was one, I think, him saving Luke Skywalker from Darth Vader. I saw something like that.
Yep, they had him right in the middle before he had him cutting his hand off. It was there were a few other ones. There was one Tim Howard stopping Frodo falling into the pits of Mordor. That one. There was a whole bunch of ones too.
Well, in other World Cup news, other than Tim Howard, Univision. That's how I work. I don't have a Watch ESPN login for my cable provider because my cable provider is basically low end. I get channels on my TV, but I don't get access to Watch ESPN apparently. So I've been watching all the games on mute on Univision.com.
Right.
Which, for those who haven't eaten in a Mexican restaurant before, that's the
Cool.
Spanish equivalent of NBC. And they've been streaming all the games for free. Obviously, live. You just have to mute it because I don't speak Spanish, and I don't know. Plus, I'm in a cubicle, so I don't want to hear my coworkers. I want to hear goal all the time. So that's what's been happening so far. But going forward, this being the quarterfinal round, they are killing the free streams, and I'm effectively pissed.
Really?
Yep, they are effectively Spanish Watch ESPN now.
Understandably. That's
What's
bullshit.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
Upset.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, how long you've provided a free stream around the world, and now you're going to kill it when it finally gets down to
the wire. Yeah, I think it's been in the plan all along. It might have been in the fine print at the beginning that, hey, in a couple of weeks this is going to die, but I didn't see anything about it. So maybe because I don't speak Spanish, there was probably a little commercial about it. Because, like, literally every 10 minutes it plays a commercial. Every time you open up a new Univision page, it plays an ad. I mean, they're making tons of money on ad revenue. But,
right.
Because you can't skip it at all. You have to sit through all 5 minutes of the ads at the beginning. Whatever. You know what? The U.S. is out. I'll watch it, but probably on a regular TV. I probably won't watch it at work anymore. So,
yeah. Same here.
Whatever. Screw you, Univision. I don't like you anymore until the next World Cup, and then I'll probably like you.
Nope. The one time I give a crap about Univision is now gone.
Yep. One time. You lost your chance, Univision. The world of coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I don't have a Keurig, but
you could have a major U.S.
Say that again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Nate? You there? All right. Well, I think Nate might have dropped. We'll see if his phone pops back in. Hopefully he will. But what I was just about to talk about is Keurig, the little coffee maker. The K cups that come with it. A lot of companies have started making their own generic versions so that you can buy them cheaper and you don't have to buy the cheap grade. Keurig, the more expensive grade, Keurig K cups that Keurig basically makes all their money off of, because yeah, they make some money off the machine, but what they really make the money off of is people buying more of those cups. And he just completely dropped from the stream. I'm gonna re-add him real quick. Hopefully he can get back into the stream. Nate, invite. Hopefully he'll be able to make it back in. But what I was saying was, much like iTunes used to do with DRM, kind of lockdown service so that you can't use their music on other platforms. I don't know if it's so much like that anymore, but basically Keurig is now using DRM technology to lock down the K-Cup system to authentic K-Cups, and they won't allow generic ones to be used. And I thought that was kind of cool that they can do that. How you doing,
Here's
Nate?
my. I'm doing okay. I don't know what the hell happened there, but technology.
Yep.
You
what
there?
are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But at any rate,
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Here's my thought on the whole Keurig thing. The DRM thing is bogus as crap. If you start bringing DRM into coffee, we've got a major friggin' problem. It's coffee, not software. It's coffee.
But the thing is, though, you got to remember that's how they make all their money.
I realize that, but at the same time, who cares? If they really want to make money, they need to quit selling them little, they call them My K-Cups, so you can basically refill them over and over and over again.
Oh, that's dumb. I haven't seen those.
Although, so people will quit running Folgers through their machines. That's what's...
Yeah, that's a problem.
Exactly.
I guess I'm not big enough into the Keurig world. I need to read up on that. I'm sure that's a website. Keurig Life.
I'm sure.
KeurigLife.biz or something like that. That's got to be out there. Life with a Y.
That'd be hilarious.
In more iPhone news that most Android users like yourself probably don't give a crap about. The dummy unit that I showed last week that has been all over the internet for weeks with the little antenna bars going all around the back. Supposedly not the final model, I guess. Those are temporary, whatever, what have you. Whatever it is, the iPhone 6 is not actually going to look like that, supposedly. Thank God, because that was awful looking.
That was pretty disgusting, yeah.
Those bars,
disgusting.
Those bars were terrible. So I'm glad that they decided to, well, not decided to. I'm glad that those were not a good rumor. I'm glad that was a bad rumor, basically.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that, because that was pretty horrid looking.
Yeah, it was not attractive.
No.
Let's see. In the category of news that I thought had already happened 5 years ago, but apparently just now happened, that's a new category we're having. Book companies' revenue, like Barnes & Noble, online finally surpassed the revenue that of their brick-and-mortar stores. I figured that would have already happened. What about you?
I figured that would have happened a long time ago. That said, I'm not entirely happy that it's happened. Because now, I'll be honest with you, I read a lot of books when I get the chance to.
Right.
So, with now that the online stores are finally making more money than the brick-and-mortar stores, then we're going to have a lot more of them closing down because they can't compete. It's simple as that.
and that is sad. As long as I can always order physical books somehow, some way, I'm fine. Because I think it's not necessarily ebooks that are killing this. It's just would rather order from BarnesandNoble.com and get physical books because people still like physical books. I love physical books compared to ebooks. Ebooks suck, but I think this is just people a convenience
Oh,
thing.
absolutely.
So as long as I can still get a physical book somehow, I'm good. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's nice to walk into a bookstore and physically scan the
I can.
shelves. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can get that. It's
Yeah.
one of those things for me where I like the smell and feel of a bookstore.
It does,
You
yeah.
can't get that.
I hear that. I hear that. So
It's very much very much a sensory thing. If I don't have sitting down in a bookstore and grabbing a cup of coffee and just reading a book that I just paid for is cool,
it's a good experience, and a lot of people haven't experienced that, and a lot of people probably never will, just because I don't know if they never have, and they never see a reason to, and that's a shame. So hopefully, a lot of people will turn that around.
Wow. Holy crap, that was close.
What's up over there? Somebody hit you?
No, someone almost got hit by someone else.
Oh boy.
Because they're like traffic is pretty much stopped here, and it's someone was just hauling ass down the center lane, probably 40 miles an hour, while everyone else is doing about 5, and someone pulled out in front of them and locked them up.
That could have been really bad.
That would have been nasty.
Nasty. Is that like right in front of you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dang. Well,
Yeah.
back to the Windows world. I guess I should have organized this better. But Windows and Microsoft this fall are set to begin the process of appeasing everyone who absolutely despises Windows 8.
Really?
I'm kind of in the middle ground, but this fall Windows 9 preview is supposed to be coming out, and the full Windows 9 upgrade is slated for next. Let's see, I think next summer sometime. And I don't know if that's going to be like a free upgrade. I don't know if they're going to move towards like an OS X approach to upgrading software, or if I'm going to have to go buy the rights to the OS. We'll see how that turns out.
That'd be kind of cool. That said, I really don't understand why so many people hate Windows 8. I realize that it's got to be it was designed for a touchscreen interface,
Right.
and using a mouse on it is kind of pointless. But I think what it is people are afraid of progress. They
Right.
don't want to give up their mouse just yet. They don't want to give up their full keyboard just yet.
Right. People are afraid of change. And the thing of it is, it's like, yeah, I have a keyboard right here. It helps me a lot. My laptop has a keyboard, and I have Windows 8.1 on my laptop. But I think I've effectively, basically lost the start screen from memory. I never use it. I use the 8.1 shortcut to boot to desktop. I never see it.
Right.
So
Yep.
in my mind, this is fine. It's a refreshed version of Windows 7. I prefer the look of things to the way it looks in Windows 7. I like flatter stuff compared to the 2007-ish depth, I guess, of all the buttons and whatnot in Windows 7. Windows 9 is supposedly, like I said, going to appease these people that hate Windows 8 by letting you even further forget that that the start screen exists. So it's going to keep the boot to desktop. It's going to possibly add in some form of start menu that people have been whining and whining hasn't been there on Windows 8.
Right. I don't know. I think people need to just go ahead and move on.
You just got to. It's been out for almost 2 years now. For most things, there's not a steep learning curve to this. I feel like there's plenty of time to just muddle through it. If you boot to desktop, it's literally not different at all.
Right. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's here's the trip though. I mean, people are acting like Windows 8 is the new Windows Vista, which is so far from the truth it's not even funny.
Right.
Windows Vista was truly awful.
That was the. It's solid. Windows 8, Windows Original 8 was relatively unstable. I'll give them that. Some things just plain didn't work. Windows 8.1 is by far, by and large, the best release Windows has.
Absolutely.
You can say what you want about Windows 7, and yeah, for things like enterprise and businesses and education, and on a large scale, Windows 7 works better just because it's more cross-compatible with things that aren't compatible with Windows 8 yet.
Yep.
But in terms of
But
features for the home user, it's yeah. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. And I think I lost him again. Sorry about that. Uh, He'll just keep on rolling down the street here. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in. Let me try and add him back in. Let's see if he can make it back in. The next thing I wanted to talk about was T-Mobile, and if you may or may not have saw, they got busted for having bogus charges on bills for the last couple of years, and so for things like commercials that you see, dial this number to get your horoscope, or just things of that nature. Uh, T-Mobile basically didn't do enough to protect consumers from that recurring charge on their bill. They just kind of let it happen because T-Mobile made some money off that. And so I don't know whether or not they have to pay a fine, but they've been accused by the FTC of playing dumb for the scam services that have been on the users' cell phone bills. And John Legere, the CEO of T-Mobile, claims, and I quote, to have already started the refund program, and he claims that the lawsuit I think they're facing a lawsuit. He claims that that lawsuit is unfounded. He claims that they've started a program at least a year or two ago that allows users to get refunds for these programs that they didn't even know that they were signed up for. So it's kind of bogus on T-Mobile's part, but at the same time, if they think they've remedied the situation, I don't know what the FTC can do about it. So yeah, that's that. Last week, I think I talked about Aereo, the streaming service that basically steals cable service out of the air and transmits it to you via virtual DVR. And they got busted by the FCC, and I think the FCC, yeah, the FCC, for they don't have to pay the fees that the regular cable companies do, and so they got shut down effectively. And now they're appealing for help from Congress and from the general public to try and get started back up. Their words were temporary shutdown, but the FCC said they can't operate. So in the English language, that sounds like a shutdown to me. So we'll see if they stay in the news trying to stay alive. I don't know. Hopefully we can get Nate back in here because I had a couple more topics that I thought he'd be interested in, and I know he probably has a fiery opinion on most of them. I'm trying to invite him again here. Let's see. The next thing, an Irish court ruled that defacing Facebook, like getting on, I think just as simple as getting on someone's open profile and saying, haha, I hacked you, or so and so eats grass, or whatever. I don't know. They said that defacing someone's Facebook profile like that and defacing someone's physical property, like the side of their house, are identical in nature. So you can effectively get the same punishment if charges are pressed from spray painting obscenities on the side of someone's house as opposed to putting them on their virtual Facebook wall. So I think that's kind of bogus and unfounded, but hey, I don't know. So we'll see if that ever produces an actual case if someone has issues with, I don't know. Most of the time, it's harmless stuff on Facebook. I can't imagine there being any charges coming out of that, but we'll see if anyone ever does. The next thing I had on here was me and Nate talked a couple weeks ago about Reading Rainbow making a return. I'm not sure if that's on an independent website or if that is on something like readingrainbow.com. I'm not certain. Nate is messaging me right now. He cannot get back in. Uh, what did I do? I think I broke something on the stream. Give me 1 second. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to finish the show myself this week. I don't know what I did. I screwed something up very, very badly. So where Nate cannot get back in. I guess I'll talk to him. We'll get him back for next week. I broke something in Hangouts. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about was Reading Rainbow, and like I said, they effectively are going to try and come back, and they did a Kickstarter, and after a late donation from Seth MacFarlane, like $1 million or something, it became the biggest Kickstarter of all time, and I think that's pretty crazy. That as long as Kickstarter's been around, that was the biggest one. I mean, it's a big thing that everybody relates to, so I guess I can see that getting the most support in terms of people wanting to get it back on the air effectively. So yeah, that's that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about that I was hoping Nate would be in here for. Unfortunately, I broke Google Hangouts. I don't know Google Hangouts well enough to let him back in. Something somehow blocked him, and I cannot re-add him. So hopefully that does not break it permanently. Hopefully that breaks it for this. I'll test that after this. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was that plasma TV is effectively dying. A lot of people are proponents of the technology, but basically people are stopping making it. And after Samsung is done with making this next round of plasma TVs, LG is going to be the only one still making them, and it's thought that LG is going to stop making them as well and move to LEDs. Plasma stuck around for a while because for a while there, LED and LCD TVs had the same resolution, but they didn't quite look as nice as a plasma TV. But now that LED has advanced so far, now there's no reason to leave plasma hanging around because plasma was there just because, I don't know, just because LED didn't look as good. And so now that LED does, there's no reason to leave a more expensive technology hanging around. And so those will be going by the wayside. That's all I had for this week. If you're still here at this point on the recording or live, I appreciate your viewership. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you're on the channel page, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can find this page more easily. I might have a review coming soon of the Moto Stream I just got from my stereo system back here. It's a Bluetooth adapter, and I'll tell you all about it when I review it. But make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, check out my old videos, and we'll be back next week, and hopefully Nate can be on video and on camera, and I won't somehow lock him out of the video broadcast. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.